Hi, for this month we are doing the verse Hebrews 6:19. This hope we have as an anchor of the soul, a hope both sure and steadfast, and one which enters within the veil. And that hope is Christ. So we're going to do a layout with a nautical theme with that anchor in it. I've used some very tropical paper, but you could also use more blues and reds. I might do that. The Flurry of Fun has some really fun paper. I might try that for another version of this. We're going to use a sketch from the Noteworthy Days Project Playbook, which is a new thing that they're offering with each bundle, buy it all bundle, or you can buy them a digital version all by itself if you don't want to get the whole bundle. And it goes through all this. You can see my cat has already decided it tastes very delicious. But this is the sketch we're going to be using. And in the sketch, these projects were created by Noreen Smith. She punched each side of the paper. We're going to just add a punch instead and use a strip instead of a big sheet of paper on top of another piece of paper because I wanted to save paper. But this is kind of the basic idea. And so I'll be going through that. But I like the idea of the circles. I'd thought about trying to do the inner tubes for like a beach typey thing. But whenever I started cutting things out, the circles, you'd have to use two different size circles, and I thought that would be harder than doing more like a porthole, which, since I've just been on a cruise, I thought that would work too. So, if you'll notice, this sketch has 2 pages, and if you turn the sketch upside down, it looks exactly the same. So I've done the right-hand side of the page already. And so I'm going to do the left-hand side, and it's just going to be an upside-down version. So basically, it will look like this, but I'll go through the measurements as I do it. So I'm going to just leave this here and set my other paper on top of it. I'm starting with a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, and I did a watery-looking paper to me. You could use a solid piece of cardstock or designer paper, whatever you have available. And then the directions in the playbook call for cutting this piece into a 10.5 by 12 piece. Didn't do that. I just cut a 1.5 by 12 inch strip to lay on top because I really like this paper and I didn't want to use a whole sheet of it that would mostly be covered up. So I kind of just took it instead. If you are a paper welder, you could cut 2 sheets and weld them together. If you also didn't want to use up a whole sheet that's just going to show this little strip. All right, then for my anchor chain, I use the Rope Border Maker cartridge. It's an older one. If you do not have it, there's a couple of other options. You could use this wavy decorative trimmer and cut like some strips instead. I had also thought, and I might still do on another version, using several little ovals, rings, like a chain. I didn't like it as well with this paper, but I still might do that on another page. But you can see it took about 14 of these little ovals to make all the way up and down. So it's a lot of cutting, but it's another way you could do it if you wanted to do something different. And that uses, if you make the rings, that uses this smallest oval with the blue blade inside, and then the green blade. We're going to have a lot of rings on here, so we'll usually be starting with the blue blade and then coming back with another size after that. But that's just if you wanted to do the rings. But I went ahead and just punched this border. It was easy. And, whoops. Fix my tripod here just a second. I'll try that again. Tape that down. The border is just easy to punch and then stick on your page with your repositionable tape runner. I also punched my anchor with this anchor punch. This is about a 2-inch tall anchor. If you wanted a bigger anchor, you could, if you have access to a Cricut, you could do that, or you could freehand one or find one and print it and then fussy cut it. But I had this anchor punch and I thought, well, I am just going to go with that, and I'm just going to lay it kind of like that to have the rope kind of twining around it. The next part that is in this design, you have a 6x8 rectangle. And on the left-hand side, you're going to add that. I'm going to move this other page just so I can make sure I get my measurements right. Get this straight. You're going to go about 1 inch from the bottom on the right-hand side and line up that edge of that. Oops, and there we go again. All right, trying to reach in front of myself here. In front of the tripod is a little tricky. And keep my measurements going. We'll do the best we can here. All right, and just stick that down like that. And then you have a 4x6 rectangle. And I'm going to put that right above the 6x8. And I may not be exactly straight. I obviously don't have my phone balanced real well, or my table is not balanced. It's not exactly even. Okay, pretty good there. Okay, so that's your basic places. You can put 2 photos here and a photo here, or however you like it. Then we're going to add some circles. We have a large, medium, and small circle. And I used all 3 of the circles here to do this. So the large circle, you are going to use the smallest of the patterns, and you're going to use the blue outside. And then because I'm doing a porthole, so I'm making rings, then I used a red outside. Okay. I kept the circle that was from the middle for another project. You do end up with a 4-inch circle. But for this, I ended up with this ring. And it's going to go up here next to your intersection of these. I'm going to hold off for a minute. And you'll notice I didn't put anything in here. That's a nice size for a photo, so I'm going to add a photo in there later. Then the next medium size is is this ring here. And in the photo, it kind of goes underneath like this. And then I cut a piece of paper, if I can find it, to go in there. Maybe I did. Oh no, I've cut my verse for this one. To go in that, like that. And I used the the largest circle for this. And I used the blue on the inside and the red on the inside. And to cut this circle, I used the blue on the inside as well. But you could cut a piece and then just lay it over. So that's for that one. And then for the smallest one, out of this ring here, there's a piece of paper, and just keep that ring of solid color around my circles to give that porthole look. This goes like that. And I'll tape all this down and take a picture after I get finished. But I used that circle that was out of there, which was out of the largest circle with the blue blade. And then I added another circle on top, which is the one that was in the pattern. And that was the medium-sized circle. Did I do with it? Oh, there it is, right there. All right, I used the medium-sized circle with the blue red blade for that one. This is the only one that I didn't do a ring because I already had that solid piece, and it kind of looks like a ring to go around it. But that red is that teal color circle that I've cut. Or I kind of like the parrot as well, but I'll probably do this. So this is our 3 circles that I'll tape down here. You have room for more embellishments, and you could use any of these circles as a journaling area as well. So together, I'll take a picture of them side by side, but let me see if I can switch this to a little bit further away, just so you can see. That's the side-by-side version. And that is kind of the whole project. I hope that you will enjoy making this. This is a verse I really liked. The thought of having an anchor to be steady for us. I look forward to scrapbooking with people on Tuesday at my house. If you do not have an anchor punch and you would like me to punch one and mail it to you, and if you're not going to be here, I'll be glad to do that. Just let me know. If you need a rope and you really want the rope, I can do the same thing on that, and you don't have that. But I'm looking forward to seeing the versions everyone else comes up with. We usually have such nice variety, and I love that. I pray that you will have a blessed evening, and I look forward to scrapping with you later. Bye-bye.